Hold on. So we just did a Roblox.
The next several hours were a blur as Shauna met with military lawyers and investigators.
Why do I want to get a car? Because I just started.
Military personnel asked if I had knowledge of anyone else that Sean was involved with. And I remembered then that I still had his phone. Military police brought Sean to headquarters while they investigated and placed him in military barracks. All I thought about was, oh my God, am I going to die? And I was scared, more scared than I've ever been in my life. Finally, after 10 days, Shauna learned her test results. She said, you're HIV negative. And I was so relieved. But relief soon turned to fear when Shauna remembered it could take up to a year for the virus to develop.
This means you do need to continue testing.
Okay. As Shauna tried to come to grips with what had happened, she couldn't help but pore over her history with Sean. The fact that I had my lab results and that he didn't have the condoms in his car, the multiple text
Played this game before.
pictures.
Oh my god.
Looking back,
I have played this game before.
I think my heart just chose not to pick off on him. Shauna had so many questions. And in late August, she finally had the chance to ask Sean through a military-arranged meeting. Why would you do this to me? To me?
Because I love you, Shauna, and I didn't want to lose you.
He still stuck to his story that he was never unfaithful.
I don't believe I'm telling you the truth.
Unfortunately, holding Shauna accountable would prove to be a long and daunting process. It wasn't until November 2013 when Shauna finally heard from a jazz prosecutor. Thanks to the contents of Sean's phone, they'd been able to confirm Sean had failed to inform 7 other women of his HIV status. One of his victims, Alicia Clark, met him in 2009 in Georgia.
So this is the garage.
I first met Sean when I had gone out to
Get
the
one
karaoke
though.
bar. He started flirting with me, and over the course of a few weeks, he got a little more persistent. He started walking me to my car. He would tell me that he was in love with me and that he wanted to marry me. We started discussing things possibly being taken to a physical level. So I asked him, how often are you tested?
Garage. Whoa. Yeah. A bigger house than him.
We were all
Let's see what her house
Sean went into the military, and when he realized how much women like a man in uniform, he just went off the deep end.
smart.
Luckily, none of the women were infected, but there was no telling how many more had been exposed. On September 9th, 2014, Sean Williams pleaded guilty to 8 counts of aggravated assault, 6 counts of adultery, and 1 count of disobeying direct orders. He was dishonorably discharged from the Army and received an 8-year federal prison sentence. It was very hurtful and emotional to know that someone that I fell in love with deeply could hurt me in such a devastating way. Today, Shauna is starting over again. Even though for the last 2 years she has tested negative for HIV, her ordeal still weighs heavily on her. I'm different. I don't easily trust people the way that I used to. But with each day, Shauna believes that God spared her health and gave her strength to live her life to the fullest.
Sean's made a lot of steps moving forward. I'm noticing a calm that's coming over her. She's starting to smile a little bit more.
Life today is much better. And I have a wonderful, supportive family.
Is it raining?
And my friends have been amazing. And with that network that I have, it can't get anything like that.
Goody me. Look at it.
Presented by Living Spaces. Buy today. Enjoy tonight. Summer may be ending, but things are heating up at Living Spaces, where we're celebrating our Labor Day event with extraordinary deals. When you shop for your home, you'll discover dining room designs as low as $195, queen beds at $395, and sofas at just $450. Plus, for a limited time, pay no interest for 36 months on purchases over $3,000. Save big and style up for fall only at the Living Spaces Labor Day event. Living Spaces.
Marine Stephen Tapati wasn't looking for love when it walked right up to his karaoke mic.
You get a good-looking woman,
Really
great singing
weak.
voice. It had that wow factor for me.
But Stephen had no idea that behind his wife's shy smile, an evil plot was brewing.
Look, where his freaking face can't
It was
move.
like a Jekyll and Hyde. You never knew what side you were going to get. And this soldier's home quickly became more dangerous than any battlefield.
They used to call me the captain, saying I had 9 lives. Lucky this will be for me in here being able to tell the story.
When it comes to love and marriage, things aren't always as they seem. In 2001, 21-year-old Stephen Tapati was razor focused on his military career.
I was stationed out in California. I taught new Marines out there.
He was a sergeant. He was very proud of it. He just loved everything about being a Marine.
When he wasn't away on maneuvers, Stephen ran a local karaoke night in the city of Oceanside, just north of San Diego.
I enjoyed singing, and the owner asked me if I wanted to do it. I said, why not?
And one spring evening, Stephen was stopped dead in his tracks.
There was this gal up there sitting.
He's good. Baby, baby.
She started singing, and it kind of made me stop what I'm doing and take notice.
Not only did 18-year-old Astrid Pignate sing like an angel, she was beautiful to boot.
You get a good-looking woman, great singing voice. It had that wow factor for me.
Mustering his courage, Stephen sidled up to Astrid, who was sitting with her best friend, Ebony.
I had seen Ebony prior at certain command functions because her father.
Back hurts.
As the three of them talked, Stephen quickly realized that he had a lot more in common with Astrid than a connection to her best friend.
We talked about, family, siblings, music, of course. It was quite the attraction on a couple different levels.
By the end of the night, Stephen knew he couldn't let Astrid go without asking for a date. And a few days later, the two of them settled down. But over drinks, Astrid made a strange confession about her past.
She had mentioned she had run with some shady type people from time to time.
Astrid didn't give Stephen any details, but she swore that reckless chapter of her life was behind her.
Everybody's got a past. There's no reason to hold that against them in the present.
By the end of the evening, Stephen couldn't wait to see Astrid again.
I just
And almost overnight, they were spending every free
I
moment
ain't
together.
doing friend requests. Give me a friend request
But
at
after
Cash
2.5
Monkey.
months together, Astrid came to Stephen with some unexpected news.
KASHMIKEY.
And I was like, hell yeah. I was ready for it. I was ready to have a kid, have a family, all that stuff.
I'm like, oh, wow, we moved a little quickly, didn't we? But, you know, it is what it is. He was happy. He really was.
Just 6 months after Stephen had first heard Astrid's sweet voice, the couple arranged to be married at a small church in Escondido, California. But the ceremony almost didn't happen.
We had an hour allotted for the wedding in this chapel, and the bride didn't show up, and she didn't show up. We're sitting here going, where the heck is she?
Even the minister was looking at his watch going, I got another wedding to do in an hour.
I thought when she backed out, and so I was getting a little nervous, a little upset.
With only 10 minutes left on the hour, Astrid finally walked down the aisle.
I chalked it up to, okay, she's 19 years old, she's pregnant, and she's getting married, whatever it was. She showed, they're married, they seem happy right now. Anything else is, you know, to heck with it.
The following February, Stephen and Astrid welcomed a baby son, and the Marine couldn't believe he was a father. But a few months later, Stephen began noticing something slowly encroaching on his family's joy. It seemed Astrid's best friend Ebony was always around.
Her father was transferred out of state, and she didn't really have too many friends left in the area, so that's when she started coming around quite a bit. You know, I'd come home, she'd be there. Or I'd come home and she'd show up shortly after, eating dinner at the house all the time. You know, I felt like I was supporting a third person.
He says, Ebony is here all the time. So she's moved in almost.
But when Stephen talked to Astrid about it, she told him that she liked having Ebony there.
It's so lonely when you're gone.
Military life. You know, it's Marine Corps first, everything else second. It can get lonely sometimes with the spouse. So I kind of bit my lip.
Stephen tried to keep the peace, but soon he would be reminded that soldiers survive by trusting their gut.
My brother's been through basically hell.
Somebody is really out to kill him.
I remember looking out the beach, you know, don't let me out here.
Sweetheart, do my forearms look bigger?
They look the same.
I've been spinning faster recently. I think they're getting bigger. Feel them.
Yeah, they kind of feel bigger.
Yeah, cool.
Switch to Progressive and you can save hundreds. You know, like the sign says.
This is time that matters. A window of time to help protect the ones you love. Your preteen benefits from staying up to date with their well visits. This is your window of protection. Schedule their well visit now.
You aren't buying creamy, dreamy, delicious mac and cheese just because you're craving it. You're also buying it to support your school with Annie's and Fox Tops for Education. We're for those who love to discover, who know an open mind is the only kind, who don't need to travel to find something new, who know where to escape, even just for a moment, who don't need a fortune to find a gem, and who know when you spend less, you can discover even more, and never ever stop discovering. Spend less, discover more. At TJ Maxx, Marshall, and HomeGoods.
By the summer of 2003, Stephen and Astrid Topati's life had turned on a dime. 2 years after they met, they were already settled into marriage and raising a young son.
I was thrilled. You know, I thought I was the luckiest person around at the time.
But Stephen wasn't so thrilled about their full-time house guest. It seemed his wife's best friend Ebony was all but living at their home.
I work support Astrid and the baby, not Astrid, the baby, and Ebony. After a while, it started getting to her real bad.
Despite his concern, Stephen didn't want to give his wife an ultimatum. But he did insist on spending time with Astrid alone.
We were going to have the night together, just me and her, no baby, no Ebony, just me and her.
On August 13th, 2003, the couple dropped their son off with Astrid's parents and headed out on the town.
We had planned on eating dinner and seeing a movie, and then she suggested we head out to the beach, too.
As they made their way toward the water a little later that night, Stephen began to have second thoughts. The beach in Oceanside had a reputation for crime.
I was a little apprehensive about it. I did a little bit of an area scan. Nothing looked really too shady.
So Astrid and Stephen settled in.
Astrid tells me to close my eyes, and I'm thinking that we're going to get a little intimate.
But as Stephen waited for the romance to begin, something caught him by surprise.
Oh, forget I was recording.
And next thing I know, I felt like a sharp, sort of shocking sensation in my neck. And see somebody standing there right in front of me.
Under the cloak of night, Stephen couldn't see who it was. As the person took off, he realized something was very wrong.
But it put my hand up on my neck and then taken it away and it was covered in blood.
Astrid ran off to call for help while Stephen tried to keep pressure on the wound.
I remember looking out at the beach, I was just saying, don't let me die here.
Within minutes, paramedics were on the scene. Stephen was rushed to a local hospital.
They actually had a helicopter land because he had had his neck slit and he was bleeding out.
There was a severed vertebral artery, almost severed the jugular vein, and the tip of the knife broke off into my neck back here.
As Stephen headed into surgery, investigators working his case placed him under protective custody.
They thought there was a hit out on him. The way he was attacked and stabbed, it seemed like it was purposeful.
There was some talk, because he was an instructor at the base, maybe it was a student of his that was mad at him. It seemed a little targeted, that he was attacked but not hurt.
But as the weeks passed, police weren't any closer to catching the assailant. 2 months later, Stephen was back at work, but the attack had taken its toll.
I come home worn out. I'd fall asleep maybe between 8:30 and 10:30 in the evening. I attributed my fatigue to the extent of the injuries that I had. I couldn't feel nothing from here on down, halfway down my arm, because of the nerve damage that was sustained there. I couldn't really go back out, work with the students like I had before.
Doctors soon told Stephen that he wasn't deployable and would have to be medically discharged from the Marine Corps.
Screwed my military career from me. I was upset, quite upset.
I'm just heartbroken for him because this was his life. He loved it. It was gone. It was over.
And that kind of destroyed him. He was just not the same.
And lately, Astrid didn't seem like herself either. Ebony had been a constant presence in the house since the attack, and the wedge between Stephen and Astrid was firmly back.
Ebony was my time. There wasn't that sense of closeness as there used to be with Astrid.
And it was creating even more tension with them. And I'm like, dude, you're married to Astrid. You're not married to Ebony. Get her out.
Once again, Stephen suggested to Astrid that Ebony spend more time away from them. But Astrid wouldn't budge.
He kind of dismissed what I was asking.
By now, Stephen had to wonder if there was more to his wife's relationship with Ebony than just friendship.
I flat out asked her if anything was going on. She denied it.
Stephen wasn't sure what to do next, except to wait and see if things improved. In the early morning of January 4th, 2004, his desire for peace would soon be even more out of reach.
We had this little love seat by the window. I passed out on that the previous night. Next thing you know, I hear a loud bang.
I thought, this is serious. Somebody is trying to kill us.
Broke into my house. Oh, no, no, no.
Just wondering who the hell wants me dead so bad.
Love getting prices that are lower than low on food that's fresher than fresh? With the Fry's app, you can get personalized coupons on top of weekly sale.
And rewards like fuel points for prices that are lower than the everyday low.
God.
So go ahead.
Fry's, fresh for everyone.
We've seen too many bad decisions lately. And now, in the middle of this pandemic, they're talking about rolling back protections for people with pre-existing conditions. It's just wrong. To make it worse, politicians are playing fast and loose with the facts, like my opponent. I can promise you this. I will never mislead you or misrepresent my votes. Good leadership is about listening and caring enough to work hard. And that's what Arizona needs. I'm Mark Kelly, and I approve this message.
So I'm going to hold on promoting you this quarter.
Drop the taco. Get in the car. Does this Sentra feel like a compromise to you? The handling is good, right? No compromise there. Watch this. Clear automatic brake. So if this Nissan Sentra has been a compromise, why should you?
The all-new Nissan Sentra with more sophisticated features than any other car in its class. Right now, get a low $259 per month lease on the 2020 Nissan Sentra. On January 4th, 2004, Stephen Tapati's life took another dramatic turn. At 6 in the morning, after falling asleep in the living room, he was jolted by a loud bang and a familiar smell.
You know it smells gunpowder. Something in my head pretty much clicks. Something ain't right. I shouldn't be smelling this in my own house.
That's when Stephen heard another unsettling sound.
Heard a noise behind me. And it's in the backside of a woman.
Stephen tried to figure out what had happened.
I found the actual bullet hole was probably about a foot, maybe a foot and a half below the back of my head, where I was laying at the time. I knew what it was. It started coming together a little bit for me. Just wondering who the hell wants me dead so bad.
But rather than chase after the attacker, Stephen's first instinct was to make sure his family was safe.
I'd run upstairs to go check on my boy, he wasn't there. Nobody was in the house. Not my kid, not my wife, not even Emily.
Stephen tried to track down Astrid, and to his surprise, she answered her cell phone.
I'm telling her I was just shot at. The boy's not there.
Yeah, he's with me.
She immediately says, we're just around the corner, we'll be there in a second. What the hell's going on? So I'm starting to become a little suspicious, just kind of questioning things at the time.
A few minutes later, Astrid walked into the house. That's when Stephen felt a chill run up his spine.
When she walked in the door, she had the same outfit as the person I'd seen leave. Something ain't jiving with me. What's going on? And I'd asked Astrid, I said, where's our son? Because I was more concerned about him at the time. What's she doing? And then, I flat out told her, you look a lot like the person I'd seen leave.
But Astrid had another theory.
She said, tell her someone that looks like me that we think we might know who she is, so we're going to go after her.
And with that, Astrid and Ebony took off.
You know, I'm like, well, dude, go on, do what you gotta do. You know, I wanted to make sure my boy was safe.
While Stephen waited for them to come back,
I keep on moving.
It was more shock than anything. You know, what the hell is going on? And then all day and all night goes by without hearing much word from her at all.
At 1:30 the following morning, the phone finally rang. But it wasn't as scary.
Get a call from California Highway Patrol letting me know
Today, I barely even talked.
Investigators told Stephen the two had been pulled over for a traffic stop.
Next one I will talk about.
200 miles away.
Part 2.
He was flabbergasted when investigators revealed
Subscribe,
what they found in
comment,
Street's car.
subscribe, and like. Until next time.
And Stephen would quickly realize that his ability to cheat death